Donald banged on his locker door. "Open, you dumb slut," he screamed at the inanimate object. He was going to be late for his first class. Life had been pretty tough this year. His parents had got him the wrong type of sports car for his birthday, making him look like a fool. Suddenly, Donald felt a presence behind him, a strong, authoritative presence. He turned and saw an upperclassman by his side. "Here, let me help you with that," said Vladimir Putin. Only the most popular boy in school, Donald couldn't believe his eyes. He was amazed as Vladimir opened the locker with ease and then dreamily gazed down at him. Thank you," Donald stuttered out in disbelief. "No problem," he paused. "You better get to class, or you might be late." Then the handsome junior turned and headed to his class. Donald was left clouded in disbelief and a strange feeling that he couldn't shake. After third period, Donald headed to the lunchroom. It was more difficult than usual for him to pay attention during classes. Of course, the teachers were no less boring than any other year, but something was nagging at him. Something about Vladimir. When Donald got the lunchroom, he realized he had nowhere to sit. Well, more like there was nowhere reasonable for him to sit. There was no way he would be caught sitting at a table with Hillary Clinton. She was one of, many of, the biggest bitches in the school. He wouldn't sit next to Jeb Bush unless it was the apocalypse, and even then it was a fat chance. Jeb is a giant nerd. It seemed like there was no rational place to sit. Everybody sucked ass. Donald found an empty table and began to pick through his lunch. "Not very appetizing," he said a familiar voice. Donald looked up, and sure enough, "Is this seat taken?" Vladimir Putin wanted to sit with him. "Be cool, Donald. You're a cool guy. Be cool." Donald pep-talked himself. "Shit, I don't see why not." Breathe an eternal sigh of relief. "So did you make it to your class on time?" This Donald Trump voice is gonna be inconsistent. Work with me here. "I'm Donald Trump, and I will be." Donald was staring directly into Vladimir's beautiful blue eyes. It was mesmerizing. "My class?" He was lost in beautiful icy ocean. "Yes, your class this morning." Donald snapped from his fantasy. "Start? No." And began blushing furiously. "Yeah, I get there on time." Donald let out a small laugh. "Barely. Mr. Hank almost did let me in. What a moron." He had avoided any questions so far, but another mess up like that and Donald might lose the only person worth talking to in this loser's school. Donald was almost through with his first week of school. It was Thursday, and tomorrow night was the first football game, and even though everyone on the football team were terrible failures, that's why Vladimir went fishing instead. Donald wished Vladimir would take him on one of his fishing trips. Just the two of them, skewering worms together, watching the sunset. "What? I'm not gay." Donald tried his hardest to pay attention to his algebra teacher, but he couldn't stop thinking about Vladimir, and it was only halfway through second period. He wished it would just finally be lunch, the only time Donald saw Vladimir all day. He also wished his algebra teachers were less of a dumb lightweight. "Stupid bitch," Donald thought. "Women are horrible. Not like Vladimir."
"Donald, can you answer the question on the board, please?"
He prepared the most snarky of remarks. "I could, but I don't want to," Donald replied. He was met with laughter from the whole room.
"Donald, come up here and answer the question on the board."
He reluctantly pulled himself up and headed to the front of the room. He answered the question easily. Math was so easy. Mrs. Vale assigned homework, and a few minutes later the bell rang. "One more period," thought Donald. "Then it's lunch." Earth science was Donald's least favorite class out of them all. Some dumb girl stood in front of the class and said, "The earth is round, there's some dirt and some water." Then the whole class clapped for her. There's probably some other stuff about science or whatever, but that wasn't important to Donald. Vladimir was important to Donald. Donald thought about being with Vladimir at the football game. It would be cold. Donald could cuddle up next to Vladimir. Maybe they would ever... "No!" Donald interrupted his own thoughts. "I am not gay. And more important, Vladimir isn't gay. He wouldn't like me like that. Not that I like him like that." The teacher droned on about water being wet. Donald kept thinking about Vladimir. Maybe he just asked him if he was going to the football game tomorrow. They could hang out together. Yeah, hang out, Donald thought. Maybe nothing would happen, but it wouldn't matter. As long as he was next to Vladimir, the night would be perfect. Then the bell rang. It was time to put Donald's plan to action. Donald headed towards his normal lunch table and quickly sat down, waiting for Vladimir to sit in his normal seat. Any minute now, Donald would be sitting next to Vladimir and looking into his cold blue eyes. 5 minutes passed. Then 5 minutes became 10 minutes. The 10 minutes became 15. Before we knew it, lunch was almost over and Vladimir was nowhere in sight. Donald left the lunchroom with nothing accomplished. To be continued. Fuck me.